Hi there guys, and welcome to the watch channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at this watch, which is the SRPG41K. Now I did post a video of this yesterday because we are doing a subscriber special offer where you can buy this watch for $249. That's about 55% off retail, so a really good offer, and it's just a gesture of thanks for supporting the channel. While we're on that topic, if you do like this content, please do consider liking and subscribing. It'd be really helpful and greatly appreciate it. Like I say, if you are interested in buying the watch, I'll put a link in the video now for you. But today was really just to get a bit of a look at this watch in closer detail and just try and understand a little bit more about the dimensions, loom, so on and so forth. Now, for consistency's sake, I'm actually going to start providing a rating on certain components or aspects of the watch. Again, this is an amateur channel, so I do apologise, the production value is not fantastic, but I'm doing the best I can, and the purpose of doing the ratings is just to try and make sure that you guys have got, I suppose, an objective view from my point, admittedly, on what I think this watch is worth out of 10 on various aspects. Anyway guys, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay guys, so the first thing that I want to start talking about with this particular watch is the case. Now, I'm going to put a picture up for you now so that you can see what Seiko says to the market in their advertising as to what this watch actually looks like. Now, I'm going to put up some video footage or some photos to show you what it looks like when I take a photo of it in real life. Now, the glaring thing for me is that the Seiko footage would have you believe that this is a PVD style watch. So it has a similar finish to the Black Series models, but like I say, when we refer back to my photos or video, you can clearly see it's more of a gunmetal style finish. So somewhere in between standard stainless steel and PVD. It's a grey, sort of opaque sort of finish to it. Now, I don't know how they actually finish the watch, but to me it sort of looks a little bit like an IWC. Maybe that's something to do with the dial colouring and the Arabic numerals, but like I say, the gunmetal finish for me I think is really attractive. There is one downside though guys, and that is when we flip that watch over, and you'll be able to see in the footage now, they just didn't bother finishing the screw down case back in a gunmetal finish either, and to me that's sort of probably a little bit half-assed, if I'm going to be honest. I think that you know, when you have a case material or a finish such as gunmetal, you need to follow that through. Now, I know that it's on the underside of the watch, but for me that's probably a little bit of a negative. Based on that, I think for the case I'm going to give it a score of 7.5 out of 10. My reason for that is that I think it's 3/4 finished, so out of 10, 7.5. Okay, so onto the sizing. Now, I'll put some pictures up now so that you can see what the sizing is, but essentially it's the easiest way to describe it from my perspective is it's not too small for a guy and it's not too big for a girl. It's a classically styled watch. At 39mm, I think it fits really well. Now, admittedly, if you do tend to wear large watches, then when you first put this one on, you might think it's a little bit too small. Now, I've done that myself. I've worn big watches. I've worn like the Seiko Samurai, which is massive compared to this. But when I've put this on, you know, and you'll see the picture on my wrist, I actually think it looks quite nice. It's sort of, you know, that's you get used to the size, if that makes sense. But like I say, I think that's a really nice fit for both sexes. As a result of that, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's nice to see a well-proportioned watch in today's age. So, onto the dial. Now, I've put some video up here for you to show you. In my video yesterday, I did sort of say, hey look, this is a brown dial or a dark brown dial. I was mistaken, it's actually just a black dial. I really like the Arabic numerals, and I think the hour markers just above those are fantastic. The other thing as well, which I really like, is in that sort of inner dial, the 24-hour time. Now, there are a couple of negatives. It's not all great news. The date window. Oh, please, why for the love of God did you not put the date window outlined with the same colour as the numerals and the markers. It, for me, just, you should have just done it, in my opinion. Same again with the 24-hour time. It is there on white print, and like I say, I would have liked to have seen that in the same colour as those markers. When we talk about legibility though, one area that Seiko's always impress is in the loom. So Seiko have their own proprietary loom, which is LumiBrite, and it's safe to say that most Seikos, if not all, will never let you down when it comes to loom, and this is no exception to that rule. Admittedly, there isn't a lot, so the Arabic numerals are not luminous, but the hour markers are, and the hands are deep filled, and it will get you through the evening and the early hours without any problems. Legibility is not a problem with this watch. Now, if I'm going to give a score of legibility, I would say a 9 out of 10. It's fantastic. We do have 100 meters water resistance. The crown is not screw down, it is a push-in type. But again, with that screw down case back, say 100 meters, you can go swimming without fear of getting water in this watch. The crystal is Hardlex, it's not sapphire, but again, we're talking about a watch that, you know, whilst it retails for $550, our special offer of $249 including delivery, I think, you know, Hardlex is more than adequate. And again, you know, Hardlex is a quality material produced by Seiko, so I've got no issues with that. When we start looking at the functionality of the watch, the legibility, and that sort of stuff, I'm going to give this thing probably about a 9 out of 10, I think. For me, it's almost perfect. It's just that date window and the inner ring of the 24-hour time. Just should have put it in that same colour. Okay, so inside the watch, the movement, we're looking at a 4R36, which is a pedestrian movement by all accounts, but a solid, reliable one. And when I say pedestrian, I just mean the finishings. Well, there's no finishing on it, it's just you know, an automatic movement. 41-hour power reserve, 24 joules, 21,600 bph. It'll go forever and a day, and Seiko have a 3-year warranty on their watches, so you know, you're going to have quite a few years of hopefully worry-free service. Again, 4R36s, you know, they've been around for quite some time. They're in a multitude of different watches, many of which are actually at much higher price points than this particular watch. But like I say, I think, you know, when we start looking at that side of things, the reliability of this particular movement, I'm going to give that a 8 out of 10. The last thing that I want to give a rating to is the leather strap. And you know, typically this is where a watch at this sort of price point does tend to fall down, but I'm overjoyed to say that this is one of the highlights of this watch. It is a nice thick calf strap. I'll put some footage up for you now so that you can see it, but it's got a really nice grainy sort of look to it. It's thick, it's supple. The white stitching or cream stitching just near the lugs and at the end of the strap are really nice, and the fact that the buckle is a gunmetal finish, the same as most of the watch, really, you know, sort of adds to that look. So I'm really impressed. It's a really nice thick strap. For me, I'm going to give the strap a 9.5 out of 10. So where does that leave us? For me, this watch, at the price point, even at the retail of $550, I think it's a fantastic value proposition. It's highly legible, it's got a decent movement in it. Yes, it's sort of, you know, a pedestrian 4R36, but it's reliable, and reliability for a utility watch is key. There's no extraneous sort of, you know, parts to it. It's sensibly sized. For me, it's almost perfect. Like I say, there's those few little things, the finishing on the screw down case back not being gunmetal, and the white outline of the date window and the inner 24-hour ring, you know, but not every watch is perfect, guys, but this one is pretty close. Like I say, for the price point, I think it's one of the best value watches out there. I really do like it. Anyway, guys, if you do have any comments, questions, queries, please do put it in the comments section, and I will get back to you when I can. Other than that, guys, I hope you've really enjoyed this video. Thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Goodbye.